Okay. Good morning, everyone. Today is May 28th, 2025. It's a Wednesday at 10 a.m. We are at Barnstable Town Hall in the James H. Crocker Hearing Room, and this is a meeting of the Town of Barnstable Licensing Authority. So that everyone knows, the meeting will be televised live via Xfinity Channel 8 or High Definition Channel 1072. It may also be accessed via the Government Access Channel live stream on the Town of Barnstable's website. So I would like to call this meeting to order and begin by introducing those of us here in the dais. My name is John Flores. I'm the Vice Chairman of the Authority, and I will be chairing today's meeting. To my immediate right, your left, is Larry Decker, who is the clerk of the Authority. To his right is Nancy Carlson-Lidman, who is a member, and Jessica Silver down to my far right. On my left is Erin Logan. She is the Director of Licensing for the town, and to my far left is Chris Kelsey. He is the officer liaison from the police department to the licensing authority as a board. So with that being said, let me also share that a notice of recording. The meeting of the Barnstable Licensing Authority is being recorded and broadcast on the Town of Barnstable's Government Access Channel in accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 38, Section 20. The chair must inquire whether anyone else is recording this meeting, and if so, please make their presence known. Not seeing anybody in the audience responding, we'll move on to initial public comment. Is there anyone that would like to speak to any issue before we actually get into the agenda? You have 3 minutes if you so desire. Not seeing anyone, we'll go right into new applications. And these are not public hearings. Item number one is a new special one-day beer and wine license. It's an application that's been filed by Circle Furniture Holdings, doing business as Circle Furniture at 332 Iyannough Road in Hyannis for a special one-day beer and wine license for their grand opening event scheduled on May 29th, 2025 from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. and beer and wine will be poured by a TIPS certified server. Are there any comments from our staff relative to this?
No, but I believe the applicant is present.
Okay. If the applicant could come up to the podium and please introduce yourself. And there might even be something to sign in on up there. There usually is. If there isn't, we'll skip it.
Jonathan Boyle, I'm president of Circle Furniture.
Okay. And you turn on the mic. The green light goes on. Yeah.
How's that?
That's good. Okay. If you could redo that.
Gotcha.
You are. For our recording.
Oh, sorry. Jonathan Boyle, president, Circle Furniture.
Okay. Any questions from the members of the board relative to this application? Nancy?
I see that you have a tip certified person who's going to be pouring.
Correct.
Do you have a designated area
Yes.
that you've got contained?
Correct,
And
we
how
do.
are you monitoring that?
I have 4 employees who are monitoring it, 3 vice presidents and myself.
Oh.
And we've got signage on the doors that no alcohols to leave the building.
Well, I think 3 vice presidents and you should suffice.
Hope so.
How many people are you expecting?
Depends on the weather, but we're expecting between 50 and 100.
That's coming up quick. That's tomorrow.
I know. Quick turnaround.
Exactly. Okay. Any other
I wish we were doing this 6 months ago, but it took that long just to get
I
the building ready.
understand. Any other questions, issues, concerns? Then I will entertain a motion if you would make that, Mr. Decker.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the special one-day beer and wine license for Circle Furniture Holdings, DBA Circle Furniture, located at 332 Iyannough Road, Hyannis, as submitted.
I second.
Okay, the motion was made with a second. Any discussion? Not hearing any. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is a vote. Good luck, and I hope you have a successful business.
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Aaron.
Item number 2 on the agenda, these are 2 new special one-day wine licenses. Two applications have been filed by Tales of Cape Cod, 3046 Main Street in Barnstable, for two special one-day licenses to serve wine on July 7th, 2025, for their Blood in the Water event with author Casey Sherman, and August 18th, 2025, for their Blood in Hate event with author Dave Wedge. Both events are scheduled to be held from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Wine will be poured by a tips certified server. Are there any comments from any staff members before we ask the esteemed member representing Tales of Cape Cod to introduce herself and tell us what this is about?
I'm Ann Kennedy. I'm a board member of Tales of Cape Cod. Sorry if I just came in, but there's no parking in all of Hyannis.
Leave it.
But, anyway, I don't know what information you need. We have two programs scheduled, one in July and one in August. The one in July is with Casey Sherman, July 7th. And the one in August is August 18 with David Wedge. And what we do is we have a program that's about an hour long, and then we have a reception afterwards. We'd like to do wine and cheese on that particular occasion. We don't prepare anything in our kitchens, so it's just wine that has been donated.
And the only comment I will make, Ann, is that I've been going to those for many years, and they're always excellent.
Well, thank
They're
you.
well put together and well presented.
I've
And
brought
the Q&A,
programs
I'd love
for
to see those. And any questions from any members of the commission?
Do you have an idea on how many people you might expect?
We had an opening program a couple weeks ago that unfortunately I didn't get my permit in time for, so we did not serve alcohol, but that program was 75 people.
That's
So
great.
we have about, on average, 60 to 75, sometimes more per program.
Someone did ask me where this was located, and this is the old colonial courthouse across from St. Mary's Church on 6A on the north side.
3046 Main
Right.
Street.
And they are excellent programs. So, any other questions? Not seeing or hearing any, I'll entertain a motion, Mr. Decker.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the special one-day wine license for Tales of Cape Cod located at 3046 Main Street, Barnstable, as submitted.
I
I'm
second.
applying for two particular programs. Is that included?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I second.
Okay, a motion's been made with a second. Any other discussion? Not hearing any. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
Mr.
that is a
Flores,
vote.
may I approach? and
Please
give you
distribute
a-
those. Yes, please do, Ann. Yes. I can't speak highly enough of this program. They do an excellent job. Okay, moving on to item number 3. This is a new special one-day beer and wine license. An application's been filed by Jake's, Clambakes, and Kitchen, located at 3821, 3821 Falmouth Road, building number 6 in Marstons Mills, for a special one-day beer and wine license for their Cook's Night Out. It's an event on June 5, 2025, from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Beer and wine will be poured by a tips certified server. Any comments from the staff before we begin? Okay, not hearing any. Who is here? Thank you. If you could come up and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about this event.
Yes, good morning. My name's Dan O'Rourke. I'm the owner. So this is just like a cooking class. It's an opportunity to promote my business and have a fun night out for some folks in the community. There's 10 people signed up. That's all we're going to have. I'm tip certified. I'll be pouring, and then I have 2 employees that will be helping kind of with the cooking part.
Okay. So when you say only 10 people, it's only limited to 10?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Questions from the board?
And you said you were all filled up?
Yes.
Sounds like a fun night.
Baked stuffed lobster, the best stuffing you've ever had. It's great, yeah.
You
There'll
know
be other nights.
How do you advertise your events?
Really just social media, and then I have a takeout kitchen, so when folks come in, then there's a flyer there. That's actually how I got all of it, all the individuals that signed up, couples.
Got it. Okay.
Chair, if I may, the applicant and I spoke earlier, and there may be a switch of the day, so if we can have the motion to approve, subject to the final event date
Okay,
being
right now it's
communicated.
scheduled for June 5. What might be the other potential
Either the
date?
4th or the 6th, so either the Wednesday before or the Friday after.
So it's either going to be July 4th, 5th, or 6th?
Yes.
I mean, June.
I just
I'm
have
sorry,
a-
June.
My daughter actually happens to be graduating from 8th grade that night.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know this, and I was told it was Friday night graduation. Now it's Thursday night graduation.
Yeah, it's
so-
graduation season for sure. Okay, and then if we could make that motion, acknowledging that it'll either be June 4, 5, or 6?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the special one-day beer and wine license for Jake's Clambakes and Kitchen located at 3821 Falmouth Road, Building 6, Marston Mills, as submitted, subject to the final date that's made,
June 4, 5, or 6?
June 4, 5, or 6.
Right, okay. Okay, motion's been made. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, motion's been made with a second. Any other further discussion? Okay, not hearing any.
Chris?
Oh, I'm sorry, Chris.
No, it has nothing to do with the vote. I can take the vote and I can ask
Okay.
my question after.
Okay, we'll call this motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that is a vote. Good luck,
Thank you.
and hope it's a good evening.
I can see the address.
Chris,
Where is the building?
So it's actually facing CVS. So it's kind of in the back of the plaza. If Domino's is on the corner, Dunkin' Donuts is here, I'm the building at the end facing CVS.
Okay.
Putnam Ave.
All right, great, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good luck with that. Okay, item number 4 on the agenda is a new special one-day beer and wine and entertainment license. It's an application that's been filed by Hyannis Arts Hall / Hyannis Film Festival, located at 255 Main Street, Suite 210. Hyannis to host Alex Torres and his Latin Orchestra benefit concert, a live performing arts event to be held on Friday, June 13th, 2025, from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Beer and wine will be poured by a tips certified server. Before we begin, any comments from the staff? Chris?
I have spoken with the Hyannis Fire Department this morning, and they asked me to pass along that while they do not have an issue with this event, and the building is sprinkled, which is a good thing, with the fact that they have the number of people that they're going to have, and it's going to be live music and live dancing, they're going to require a crowd manager for this event.
Okay.
I talked, hi, I'm Bill
Yeah, I
Farrell.
was going to go to you next.
I've seen all of you before
Yes.
for other events with the Hyannis Film Festival. I'm the also the managing director for the new Hyannis Arts Hall. We just started in March. To answer that question just briefly, I talked to the fire department today, too.
Okay.
I didn't know about that requirement, but we went over how to get the crowd manager certificate.
Perfect.
So
It's a very
several of us
simple
will do
process.
it, and I've already signed in and put up an account
Wonderful.
and all that kind of good stuff. So we're new in this space. This is the old fellowship hall from the Federated Church. But we have done Hyannis Film Festival events in there before, and we've come before this board for that. This is the biggest event we've done, but we're all very seasoned and practiced at this sort of thing. So I don't know what else to say. I mean, Hyannis Arts Hall was founded so that we could have a nonprofit arts and cultural center in the historic East End, as I like to say. I'm going to make everybody use that phrase eventually. So we started, as I say, we've done events in there before, and they've had events of this size in there before, but of a different nature. Sturgis School used to do their testing in this auditorium. The auditorium is large. It's 3,000 square feet, and the town has given us an occupancy rate standing of 326 for that room. I don't imagine, nor do I particularly want that many people in that room. For this event, we've limited tickets to 225 on Eventbrite. I have a feeling it's going to, well, I hope it's at least 150 so we meet our costs, but I have a feeling it's going to land more in 150 to 175 range. By the way, I should say that with me is Kim Rumberger, who's helping organize this event, and she's worked with this band before, this orchestra. This is, I think I mentioned it in the application, this orchestra is a group of music educators from upstate New York, and they come to the Cape every year and do a series of concerts, so they're coming to help us sort of have a festive opening celebration for Hyannis Arts Hall. And also with me is Jen Wheeler, who's the Family Table Collaborative. You probably know her. And she's doing the food for this event and has already been permitted, I understand. So, and we have a tip certified server, Tim Rumberger, who's Kim's husband, who also handles bars for large events at the Emerald Resorts. So he's well practiced in this. We have an executive vice president who has a tip certification and will be there. We have other people on the volunteer staff who have tip certification and will be there. I mean, I hope it's all tip certified people serving the alcohol.
So-
That's my intention anyway.
With 2 weeks out, how many tickets have you sold?
24 as of today.
And the cost of the
So I'm
tickets?
nervous.
Yeah, you want to break even at least. on the cost of the tickets?
The $60 with some discounts and some twofers and that sort of thing. But it's food. It's the ticket includes one drink. As I outlined in the description, we'll limit it to 3 during the evening. It's a 3-hour event. So there'll be conservative pours.
Well, we're hoping that it works out well. I mean, you've come before us many times with the film festival, done a good job. Jenny runs the Family Collaborative. You've always done an absolutely fantastic job with that and your volunteer work within the community. So
Oh, great.
We're hoping that, it's a
We're all
win-win.
pros at this. I mean,
Yeah.
today's my birthday, so I could
Oh,
tell you.
happy
I
birthday.
could tell you how many decades I've been doing this, but I won't.
Happy birthday. You're like
Thank
me.
you.
You're 39 forever.
Exactly.
Any questions from the members of the commission?
Bill, what was your last name? I didn't catch.
Farrell.
Farrell, thank you.
Yes, Ferraralo.
And also, I'm a board member at the Cape Cod Museum of Art, where we put on 3 major fundraisers a year. And besides helping with the development, the underwriting of the events, we have up to 200 plus people there 3 times a year, and I manage with that too.
Thank you.
Oh, and also, I mentioned in the description, we plan to have a security officer there. If the police department would prefer that to be 2, we're fine to do that.
I think 1 is fine.
Okay.
Okay. We will entertain a motion for this.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the special one-day beer and wine and special one-day entertainment licenses for Hyannis Arts Hall / Hyannis Film Festival, 255 Main Street, Hyannis, as submitted, subject to the fire department request, and 1 police officer.
I second.
Okay, the motion's been made with a second. Any other discussion from members of the commission? Not hearing any, I'll call the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That is a vote. Congratulations.
Hope you all
Good
come. You
luck.
got to see this space.
Yeah.
Everybody's shocked that this auditorium is actually about 30 footsteps off Main Street, and
Right.
it's the only arch stage like proscenium arch stage like that. It's really, really a great space.
And tickets are on sale at Eventbrite now.
Eventbrite.com.
Eventbrite.
And
Okay.
Cape Cod Beer the next night is hosting the same band, so.
All right.
a couple of choices.
Well, good luck.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 5 on the agenda is to amend the annual all alcohol license. This is a change of hours. It's an application that's been filed by Milano Hospitality Group, doing business as Milano's Italian Kitchen at 408 Main Street, Hyannis, to amend the hours of operation on their annual all alcohol common victualler license from daily 4:30 to 10 p.m. to daily 11 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. And you are here representing
I am Andrea
Milano's.
Rotaro.
Is
Yes.
the microphone on, if you could speak up? If you
Yes.
could tilt it a little bit? It tilts now, so you have to.
Yes, I'm Andrea Rotaro. I'm the manager at Milano's. Currently, we are in Harwich, but we're going to take over the Naked Oyster on Main Street. We're thinking of doing lunches, so that's why we want to start selling liquor a little earlier. And we want to extend it to 11:30 p.m. Because we close the kitchen at 10. So if someone just sits down at 10 o'clock, I can just tell them you can eat, but you can't have a drink.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the staff, from the board?
So you said you were thinking of opening lunch, or you are?
We want to. Right now, they are not opening for lunches. We're taking over next week. So right now we're getting all the support staff and more kitchen staff so we can open for lunches.
Okay, thank you.
Will this be the same menu as what's in Harwich?
Yes. We will keep the raw bar from the Naked Oyster, but it's going to be pretty much same menu as there.
Okay. Questions from the staff?
No, I mean, as I mentioned last meeting, I did actually do a little due diligence and spoke with the officials in Harwich, and there were no issues with their establishment in Harwich.
Okay. Then we will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the change of hours for Milano Hospitality Group, DBA, Milano's Italian Kitchen, located at 408 Main Street, Hyannis, as submitted.
And is there a second?
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other questions, issues, concerns? Not hearing any, we'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That is a vote. Good luck.
Thank you.
Look forward to the opening. Okay, moving on to item number 6. This is to amend the seasonal wine and malt common victualler license. It's a change of manager. An application has been filed by South Shore Playhouse Associates, DBA Cape Cod Melody Tent, 41 West Main Street, Hyannis, to change the licensed alcohol manager from Vincent Longo to Ross Roncelli. Are you Ross?
I am Ross.
Okay, tell us a little bit about who you are and
Well, I'm the general manager at the Cape Cod Melody Tent now, going into my 3rd season with the company. Previous to that, I spent 8 years at the House of Blues in Boston and 1 year with Big Night Live in Boston as well. So quite a bit of experience in the concert industry, and I actually did the same kind of stuff in the state of Michigan for years prior to that. And I've been working with Vince for a few years and just trying to kind of continue what he's been doing there.
Were these in alcohol capacities?
Yes. Yeah, the House of Blues, they're all concert venues that have full liquor service and everything.
questions from the board?
No.
Questions from any staff members?
Not a question, just a comment. I'm happy to see this application come in front of you. This is something that we asked for last year. As many of you know, Vincent Longo, I mean, he has been there forever. He's a staple at the Melody Tent and within the community. But he is really the person at the top. He's not there constantly on site, and we requested to have somebody on staff who's going to be on site be named the alcohol manager. So they did this at our request, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you. Evan? Okay. Okay, we will entertain a motion for item number 6.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the change of manager application for the South Shore Playhouse Associates, DBA Cape Cod Melody Tent, located at 41 West Main Street, Hyannis, as submitted.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion from the board? Not hearing any. I'll call the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That is a vote. Good luck. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Okay, this takes us into public hearings. The following applications are considered under the public hearings provision. Item number 1 is the new non-live entertainment license. It's an application that's been filed by La Bella Cuenca, LLC, doing business as La Bella Cuenca, 372, parentheses, 366 Main Street, Hyannis, for a new annual non-live entertainment license for recorded music below conversation level and 2 televisions. Non-live entertainment hours will be commensurate with daily operating hours. So would you tell us who you are? And you've been here before. Now, tell us more.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, we are here to hear the meeting.
Could you speak a little closer to the mic? Thank you.
Okay, we are here to hear the hearing about our restaurant we are going to open, about the annual non-live entertainment license for the record music below conversation level, and 2 TVs. We have non-live entertainment hours will be commensurate with daily operating hours. We're going to open 11:30 until.
What date did you say?
11:30 a.m. We will be open.
11:30 to what?
Until 10:30 p.m.
11:30 to 10:30.
Yes.
Okay. Questions from members of the commission?
Are you changing any of the structure inside? Are you
No.
keeping it the same?
Everything is the same. Yeah, no change.
Anyone else? Any members of the staff? Is there anyone from the public that wishes to speak to this particular item? Not hearing any, we'll call the motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the non-live entertainment license for La Bella Cuenca, located at 372, 366 Main Street, Hyannis, as submitted.
I second.
Okay, motion's made with a second. Any other questions from the board? Not hearing any. We'll call the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that is a vote. Good luck. Hope you're
Thank you so
successful.
much. Have a good day. to
Good luck.
everybody.
Okay, item number 2, under the public hearing section, is an application that's been filed by Craigville General Store, LLC, doing business as Craigville General Store, 628 Craigville Beach Road, Centerville, for a seasonal common victualler license, seating for 12 indoors. Proposed manager is Wayne Hyman. Requested hours of operation are daily from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. So which one is Wayne?
I'm Wayne. I'm the
Okay, if
owner
you
of
could introduce
Craigville General
yourselves and
Store.
who's ever going to speak to this and tell us what it's about.
Sure, absolutely.
You could get right into the mic so we can
Of
hear you.
course.
Yeah.
I just want 12 seats in there for the community to enjoy breakfast and lunch in the morning. It's a very historic building that I would like to keep for generations to enjoy. It was successful as a specialty grocery store. And then we would like, as we have proposed, to sell sandwiches seasonally.
Okay. Regarding your certificate of insurance, has that been filed with?
I believe so, yep.
We can ask.
If it's not, I certainly can make sure it is.
That's okay. That's the only document that I need. I know you and I had gone back and forth, but if you could reach out to your agent and just ask them for an amended Accord 25.
Of course.
That would be
And we
great.
finally meet Erin.
Yes, I know. We both do exist.
I'm real,
In
I
real,
know.
yes. We've been playing phone tag, so
It's a
yeah.
virtual world.
Of course I will.
Outside of that, so if you get approval, the license would be based on receipt of that certificate of
Of
insurance,
course.
okay?
And the other 2 folks who are with you represent? You came up here, you might as well be recognized.
I'm Nancy Ward. I just come in to have some breakfast or lunch. It's a nice, quaint place. I hope it continues. It's got a great owner here, so.
Okay.
I'll also add that Nancy's going to show Wayne how to make homemade bread.
Oh, I love it. Good.
He's going to, try to make the sandwiches from his own bread. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Good.
And I like the place. It's kind of a nice little hang. And coffee in the morning, that kind of thing.
And you are?
Michael Hennessy.
Michael Hennessy. Okay,
Yep.
Michael, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, any questions from members of the authority? Okay. Any other staff comments? Okay, not hearing or seeing any, we'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the seasonal common victualler license for Craigville General Store, located at 628 Craigville Beach Road, Centerville, as submitted, and with the condition that the license will only be issued upon the receipt of a valid certificate of liability insurance.
And I second.
Okay, motion's been made with a second. Is there any other discussion from any member of the authority? Not hearing any, we'll call this vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? No one's opposed. That's a vote. And good luck and congratulations.
Thank you so
Wish
much.
you the
guys
best.
stopped by.
Okay. Okay, item number 3 under the public hearing section is to amend an annual farmer brewery license hyphen alteration of licensed premises. It's an application that's been filed by Cape Cod Beer, doing business as Cape Cod Beer at 1336 Phinney's Lane, Barnstable, for an alteration of licensed premises to read microbrewery comprised of a 5,000 square foot building with assembly tap room with seats for 206, or 96 seats with tables and chairs, or 288 standees only, production, retail, offices, 2 bathrooms, 1 that will be ADA, and 3 egresses, one at the rear of the Assembly Tap Room, 2 at the front of retail, a 2,300 square foot storage area with access from patio to 2 adjacent space ADA compliant bathrooms, a 4,000 square foot building with production, a 6,700 square foot patio with seats for 250 and plant a barrier surround. If you would introduce yourself once again and tell us what we're doing.
Of course. Good morning, everybody. My name's Todd Marcus. I'm the president and brewmaster of Cape Cod Beer, and I'm here today seeking approval for an alteration of premises to resolve inconsistencies in our premises description that have perpetuated through the changes that we've made to our business over the last 21 years that have resulted in some departmental confusion within the town. In addition, these changes will make it clearer for compliance and the safety of our patrons moving forward, and I thank you for your time and attention.
Okay. Any questions from any members of the authority? Any comments from the staff?
No, I think my only comment is that this really came from the addition of some restrooms, and we thought it was a good opportunity to just grasp all of the areas of the establishment that hadn't been included. So I have no concerns with this application.
Okay. Officer Kelsey?
I just have one point of clarification.
Sure.
Just so that there is no confusion down the road. Where it reads, the 5,000 square foot building with assembly tap room with seats for 206 or 96 with tables and chairs. My understanding is the 206 number is if it's set up for theater seating, and then the 96 seating would be like round tables or square tables with chairs around them. Is that correct?
Right. So
Okay.
we do events, we do wildlife on tap events. We do things where we're projecting on the screen, and yes, we set up chairs for people to, like tomorrow night, we have an event called, 3 Picks and a Pint, where people, it's kind of like a moth storytelling event, but it's with pictures and photographs, and we'll set the chairs up, in that fashion, so that people can watch what's going on.
No, that's perfect. I just wanted to have that clarified so that down the road, it wasn't 206 tables and chairs.
Gotcha. Thank you.
No, I mean, yes, of course, I understand.
Aaron,
And there
you're
were
clear on that?
pictures that go along with
Okay.
that.
We're clear on that. Thank you. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to speak to this issue? Not seeing anyone. I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the alteration of licensed premises application for Cape Cod Beer located at 1336 Phinney Lane, Barnstable, as submitted.
And I second.
Okay, we have a motion with a second. Final opportunity for the authority. Anyone who wants to make a comment? Not hearing or seeing any, we'll call this vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None opposed? Good luck and wish you a good season.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 4. This is a new annual Chapter 12 wine and malt common victualler license and new annual non-live entertainment license. It's an application that's been filed by Shake Shack, Massachusetts LLC, doing business as Shake Shack, located at 790 Iyannough Road, Hyannis. That's at the Landing Mall, for a new Section 12 annual wine and malt common victualler license. Inside seating for 46, outdoor seating for 24. Proposed hours of operation are daily from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. Proposed alcohol manager is John McGonigal. And the applicant also seeks an annual non-live entertainment license for recorded music below conversational level during operating hours. So if you could introduce who you are and what you're about and tell us what this is going to be.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. My name is Elizabeth Pisano from Upton, Connell, and Devlin on behalf of the applicant, Shake Shack, Massachusetts, LLC. With me is John McGonigal. He is the area director and also the proposed manager of record for this location. This application is for a beer and wine license at 790 Iyannough Road. The premises is a little over 3,000 square feet and a 225 square foot outdoor patio. Just a little background, Shake Shack is a well-established, successful, fast casual dining restaurant. They have over 300 locations in the U.S., and they have 12 here in Massachusetts that all have liquor licenses. So they do already possess 12 beer and wine licenses across the Commonwealth, all which have been very successful and have not presented any issues in those municipalities. The entertainment is just for TVs and background music through satellite radio. The proposed manager of record, as I mentioned, is John McGonigal. He has been the area director for the past 5 years. Prior to that, he worked for P.F. Chang's for 10 years. He is going to see this project through. The anticipated opening date is the end of July. So he will be at this location, getting it up and running, training all of his staff. And then once it's been open and operating, we will be before you again to change the manager of record to a local manager. They have identified and hired that manager, but because of the process and the timeline of going through the licensing where it can take months, we just wanted to get our application in and get the ball rolling on that. But as soon as they are open and John feels like everyone is up to par and ready to handle the store with all of their training and necessities, then we'll be before you again to change that manager of record. Shake Shack's signature offering includes pairing premium burgers and fries with beer and wine, which align with their elevated fast casual dining concepts. It just adds more options and a more complete menu, especially to the adults who might be frequenting the establishment. It's meeting the consumer demand, which we have seen at other locations, and how popular it is at the other locations. You might not think, oh, maybe how much alcohol are they really selling? But you'd be surprised that the beer and wine consumption, it does definitely attract more customers. So as I said, it would meet the consumer demand, and the economic and employment benefits from this. It will increase the revenue and support the local employment and tax contributions to the town. Safe service and controlled alcohol service is of utmost importance to the Shake Shack brand. So every person who will be working at the front of the store, taking orders, helping people get their food and beverages, they will all be tip certified. So they will know the proper protocols to checking IDs, being able to spot any fake IDs, just really being able to have a keen eye for making sure that all rules and regulations of the town and the Commonwealth are followed. It is a family-oriented venue, and the alcohol offerings are just supplementary and designed to appeal to the adult diners. It is not the primary focus. And as I said, there are procedures in place that have been successful at other locations, and it has been a great addition to the other towns, and we believe it really will be great here in Hyannis. So I'm happy to answer any questions or concerns that any of you may have.
Okay, and this is located at the Landing Mall?
Yes, next to the
You're
Whole Foods.
Next to Whole Foods, but you're, right, there's a building in between.
Yes.
Has that been leased out yet, do you know? Because you're at the far end.
Correct. Yes.
Very far end. So there's a space between you and Whole Foods
Yeah.
that's still vacant? Yes. Okay, and how many employees do you expect to have?
About 50 team members and 5 managers.
Okay, and the average age of those checking IDs need to be how old?
Over 20.
Okay, they'll be over 21. Okay, just want to confirm that. Okay, any questions from members of the authority?
Did P.F. Chang's serve alcohol?
Yes.
Thank you.
Is this the only one on the Cape?
I believe so.
For now.
Yeah.
Right.
Questions from the staff?
No comments. We've received no public comment, good, bad, indifferent.
Officer Kelsey?
Is it just table seating or is there a bar?
Just table seating.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Are there any issues, concerns from anyone who's still in the audience? Not seeing or hearing any. I can speak to the Shake Shack that's at the Watertown Mall that my grandson and granddaughter enjoy very much, so.
You can take them
It's
here.
a hit for them. At any rate, we'll entertain a motion to move this forward.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the annual Section 12 wine and malt common victor license and non-live entertainment license for Shake Shack, Massachusetts LLC, DBA Shake Shack, located at 790 Iyannough Road, Hyannis, as submitted.
I second.
Okay, any other questions? I just have one other comment. This is not a franchise. This is corporate-owned, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
It's a publicly traded company.
None of them are franchised.
That are ones licensed are, that are out.
I'm sorry?
The ones outside of the U.S. are.
Outside of the U.S., okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, motion's been made with a second. Any other discussion, questions, concerns? Not seeing or hearing any, I'll call this vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Not hearing any? Good luck.
Thank you
Look
very
forward to the
much.
grand opening.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Have a good day.
Okay, number 5 is an all-annual, Section 12 all-alcohol common victualler license. It's an application that's been filed by 662 Main Street LLC, doing business as Hearth and Kettle Restaurant. 662 Main Street, Hyannis, for a new Section 12 annual all-alcohol common victualler license. Inside seating for 90, outdoor seating for 48. Proposed hours of operation are Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 a.m., and Monday through Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. Proposed alcohol manager is Gunvantre S. Patel. With that being said, are there any comments, questions from the members of the authority?
A quick question, could I have your...
And before we begin that, could we, yes, go right ahead. I jumped the gun on that. We'll let you tell us everything that you're doing and get comfortable. Take your time. Mr. Patel, I hope I pronounced your name. I did the best I could.
If I can just ask you to
Make sure
check your
those microphones
microphones
are on.
and just hit the buttons.
The green light needs to be on.
Hello.
There we go. Good evening. Attorney Ted Schilling from Marstable, Mass., representing Mr. Patel. We also call him Mark Patel, which is an easier name to pronounce.
It's easier.
Any event, I'm representing the company, the 662 Main Street LLC, and doing business at Hearth and Kettle. They've redone this whole this restaurant's hooked onto the Plaza Hotel, which he owns, and it's being completely redone. All new equipment, everything, furniture, furnishings. And I think it's going to be a first-class restaurant for Hyannis. And of course, the Hearth and Kettle is a pretty well-known name in the area, in Yarmouth and even off Cape. But they're no longer in existence in those places. So he has people from there working, that have worked those places, working for him. And we think it's going to be a pretty good deal to get it going. It services the hotel, but it's not a innkeeper's thing. He doesn't want people having to take drinks to their rooms. So we felt it was better to do it this way, and it's open to the public. And we're here to answer any questions you might have.
I have a couple. The Hearth and Kettle restaurant, which I believe was owned by the Catania family for years, they had a series
They were.
of them. Are there still Hearth and Kettle restaurants? Is there still one in Yarmouth way down?
Yarmouth.
Yeah, there is one, yeah.
There's still one in Yarmouth, right?
Yeah, there is one location at the Yarmouth, yes.
On 28, yeah.
28, yes.
And the other one was at Margaritaville, which closed when it
It
became
closed, yes.
Margaritaville.
Yes.
Okay. Is Hearth and Kettle Restaurant, is that just a brand name or is that a corporate franchise? What is that?
It's not franchise, but it's the long time, so people, and they have multiple locations at the same name, so.
So it's not a patented name?
No, it's not.
It's a public name?
But, yeah.
Okay. Okay, questions from members of the authority? Questions from members of the staff?
So I just wanted some clarification, and I know Attorney Schilling and I have spoken. I had some concerns with there being another Hearth and Kettle in Yarmouth. I'm not sure what the laws are pertaining to DBAs, but I just want to make sure, you're not partnering with those folks right now? for this new establishment.
You're not partnering with Hearth and Kettle in Yarmouth. You're not partnering with any of the people with Hearth and
No, I'm not.
So you're a total separate entity?
Yeah.
Nothing to do with Yarmouth?
No.
Okay. Officer Kelsey, any questions?
And at this time, your intention is just to be a sit-down restaurant? You're not seeking to have entertainment or anything like that right now?
At this moment, no.
Okay. And if you did, you would just come back in front of this authority and file for the proper approvals?
Understood.
Is there a reason you chose Hearth and Kettle as the name? I'm curious.
Oh, it's been a long time here. And second thing, they have a multiple location because of not them, but change of the name. Like Cape Codder became a Margaret'sville, so they have their own franchise restaurant over there. So they are looking for, I'm looking for, so they're looking for the, so basically it's the perfect for both of us, so they can open there.
It was in Centerville at one time, and then they made a mistake and moved to Hyannis personally, and because there used to be lines waiting out the door every day, and then the one in Hyannis is gone. So a lot of people will remember the name, and we did a DBA. We filed in town. We got the DBA, and I think that's, and I checked. I didn't find any trade name or anything. So I think we're in good shape that way.
Okay. Entertain a motion. Oh, before we do that, there's no one here from the public who wants to speak for or against it, so we'll move on right to a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the annual Section 12 all alcohol common victor license for 662 Main Street LLC, DBA Hearth and Kettle Restaurant, located at 662 Main Street, Hyannis, as submitted.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made with a second. Last chance for anyone from the authority to have a question or a comment. Not hearing any, we'll call this vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We wish you nothing but good luck and good fortune on the restaurant.
Thank you.
Thank you for your patience, too. Okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Let's see, the consent agenda consists of usual repeat events, and are there any items on the consent agenda from any of those listed that require a police detail or a fire detail or anything along that line? I'll look to Officer Kelsey for that comment.
Yes, thank you very much. We do have a number of repeat events, and then we do have some events listed here by Cape Cod Beer that I'd like to comment on. Amplify POC, again, that is a repeat event. We have worked with them in the past so that they would put together their own security team, but we are still going to request one police officer on the town green with them as they will be serving alcohol.
Okay. And the rest are?
Flip Circus.
Oh, right, okay.
To stay consistent with events of this type at that location. In the parking lot of the Cape Cod Mall, we have requested consistently 2 police officers during all business hours.
Okay. Any more by any chance? That you want to speak to?
And then Long Table.
Oh, yeah, I see Long Table, okay. Yep, okay.
Again, I know that this is a collaboration between Main Street Bid, the town of Barnstable, and local restaurants. We had requested over the years at least 4 police officers be present. I have requested 4 detail officers. I know sometimes it has been that they've hired detail officers. Other times they've worked with the police chief and town offices to have the town supply the police officers. However that works out, I'm fine, as long as we have at least 4 police officers on Main Street during this event.
Okay, so we've identified Amplify POC for 1, Flip Circus for 2 at all times, 4 for the Long Table bid event coming up. Any others of concern to you, Officer Kelsey?
This is just sort of a point of reference in concerning the Cape Cod Beer one-day applications. This is something, and I wish Mr. Marcus was still here because I would like him to be able to speak to this. They are doing these one-day applications because they have not come into compliance yet with the town building department and plumbing department. They are working with the building department and plumbing department at this point, but these issues, especially with the plumbing department, have been going on for well over a year. And with that, it put restrictions on their license to open up outside this year. So that's why they have been required to apply for these one-day licenses. This will bring them through June, and I don't have an issue with that. But if they have not done what they need to do by June 21st, which is when their last application for a one-day is, I would suggest that these consent agenda items be placed on the agenda for hearings, because it's been a long, long time that they have had to do this work, and they still haven't done it yet.
Okay. Director Logan, you'll make note of that to be sure that
I will.
post June 21,
Absolutely.
that the plumbing and the building-related issues at Cape Cod Beer are
Absolutely.
taken
So,
care of.
and I guess just a point of, just to clarify that I did speak with the plumbing inspector, and this was a reasonable, because they are still waiting for those bathrooms to be installed, this is a way to still be compliant with the code. That being said, I will not be issuing the alteration of licensed premise approval once it comes through, unless those bathrooms
Unless
are
those
done.
are done.
And I did similar to Neptune's, formerly the Smith Family Beer Garden. So that license came in, was approved, but I did not issue it until the work was actually done. So I would be doing the
So
same.
you're on top of that?
I would, I
Okay.
am, and I would agree with Chris that I think, I'm sorry, Officer Kelsey, that if we need to expand into July, that we can have them come
Bring it to
before.
the- we'll vote on it.
Agreed.
Okay. When's the July meeting? Is it on, what is it?
23rd.
23rd. So if there are events prior to July 23rd, between June 21st and July 23rd, we should take that into serious consideration. Because I don't want them to lose business either over the course of the summer. That's a busy season, so I want to be open to that. Okay, with that being said on the consent agenda, I will entertain, excuse me, before I do that, I'll entertain a motion.
All right. Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the consent agenda as printed, noting the requirements for requested police details for Amplify, POC, Flip Circus, and the Long Table event.
I second.
Okay, motion's been made with a second. Now I'll entertain any other questions or concerns from anybody from the authority. Not hearing any, I will call this vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that is a vote. Thank you for moving that along. Okay, next on the agenda, any licensing authority and division updates? Director Logan?
Sure. So I think I was a little disappointed with the turnout for the annual alcohol compliance meetings this year. As you know, we have not made them mandatory. I think they had been mandatory in the past. I'd like to read a letter that I received from a restaurant owner. I'm not going to disclose their information, just because granted, it's public record, but I don't know that the intent was for me to broadcast this, but I thought it was worth a read. Good afternoon, Erin. I was at the meeting today on liquor licenses at the Jimmy Buffett Resort. I have held the liquor license in my name for 38 years. My parents before me 22 years, and my grandparents before that for 30 years. I know the meeting wasn't mandatory. However, I wanted you to know I still learned something new today after never missing in 38 years. I can't believe you had such a low turnout, and was just thankful. But I thought that was important to bring up because this is someone who has been in the business in our town for over 40 years, and she's still bringing things home from this. So I think with that said, I might ask Chris to join this conversation about how we are holding meetings in the future.
Officer Kelsey, comment?
We actually started this conversation the day of that meeting. And I had actually brought up to Aaron that day that I was going to be asking the licensing authority to make this meeting mandatory next year. In the past, the meeting has been mandatory, and if attendance wasn't proven, then they would be brought in front of this authority to explain why they didn't send a representative. I think the meeting is extremely important for a number of reasons. It gives them the opportunity to not only get an update from us, but from the ABCC. It allows them to ask questions and have some dialogue that goes back and forth for clarification purposes if needed, which is, I think, much more important than just reading something that came on an update or a bulletin from the town or from the state. In addition, it helps us when we are trying to do compliance, when there could be some confusion or maybe even some people trying to muddy the waters by saying, oh, I didn't understand or you never explained it to me. They have the opportunity to be here and get that information. And if we have some confusion at that point, we can explain it to them instead of having to go back and forth a number of times, either by telephone calls, emails, or personal visits before we bring them in for a conversation when it's something that we could have addressed right then and right there, right at the beginning of the season.
I would concur with making it mandatory. The only thing I would ask, Aaron, is that you check with town council to be sure that from a legal perspective that we have the authority to make them come. And if so, who the representative, whether it's the person of record or whether it's whomever, might be representing the particular person whose name is on record of the particular license.
I think that's good. That's good guidance. And
I'm happy to do that, and I think I can also commit to confirming a date with the state in January. So folks have 5 months, 4 months to put this into their calendars. I will say as an aside, when we did have that meeting, there were several town meetings happening.
Yes.
So in terms of the local staff that were able to attend, it was low turnout. So I might take a peek at the calendar next year.
Look at the calendar, absolutely, because
and
I
see if
went to
there's
the
a
morning
better-
session. I had a commitment in another town meeting in the
Right,
afternoon session when I saw you.
Yeah, so I'll definitely look to make sure it's not conflicting, because we also want to get the rest of the Cape here, not just our licensees, but I think it's a good opportunity for the remainder of,
Might I also ask that if we're inviting people to come, then in its early morning meeting, that maybe we provide coffee or at least some water? I know we don't have really a budget for that, but I'm sure the town can afford a coffee, an urn of coffee.
I think based on the numbers, I'm going to probably attempt to have it here next year.
Yeah,
And it might
good.
just be 3 separate meetings, one for the on-premise, one for the off-premise, and one for the Cape and Island staff. And I think with that being said, we'll actually have budget to offer some food. And that,
Having left home without having my coffee in anticipation that there would be coffee there, I was shocked that there
you
wasn't.
have to tighten our purse strings.
Well, if you're tightening the purse strings, why did you have the meeting at Margaritaville?
So, right, good point. And quite frankly, because in the past, the first year that we had a compliance meeting here, it was standing room
was
only. And we
SRO, yeah.
realized we didn't have the space. And I go back to my predecessor, and now I understand why she was holding separate meetings. Because once we add the off-premise as well, the crowd is too big for this room. So I think if we separate that out, and they can just come later in the day and just have.
Or go 2 days.
Well, absolutely.
Whatever works.
But I think we can keep it here as long as we split those two.
Okay, so if you have it here, you get out of the coffee deal, right?
I could have extra coffee. We could have, maybe we'll have espresso
Maybe
or
water,
something.
that's a
No.
good thing. So you will follow up, you'll check with the town attorney, and
Yes.
they come back with a recommendation? and-
Yes, I will.
And dates and whatever you'll do.
Got it.
You'll do the homework.
I will.
I'd just like to say, it really is a shame that the attendance was so poor.
Yeah.
Because both of those meetings, the morning and the afternoon, I found very impactful. They were very well done. I think the handout is invaluable. And I really am sorry that they missed out.
It's a good refresher course, that's for sure.
No, they're enjoyable. Yeah,
Actually, for all of us.
They're a learning opportunity for us.
mean,
And
there are
the
things that-
questions that, in the past ones that I've been to here, good questions are come up, certain situations that help us as a licensing authority, help you, Officer Kelsey, as the liaison from the police department. So they're good to have, just.
Absolutely.
Make sure you have coffee.
And to speak to the 2 separate days, I think that we would probably want to keep it on one day just out of respect to the time of the staff of the ABCC.
Right.
To have them come down twice,
Yeah, they're coming down
it's
from
sort of challenging for them.
Agreed.
Well, the only advantage of having the 2 days is that some people can't make it on one day, and that, a lot of times that's the excuse they see for not showing. But, okay, but I understand.
Well, they can send a representative.
Exactly. They can identify somebody who's at the management level, and all of these restaurants have several managers, so
Right.
I can't see that being a challenge that they can't overcome.
I think a workaround too may be to hold the Cape-wide on one day and our license holders the next day. Might be an option too, because there are 2 different groups from the ABCC conducting those seminars.
Well, we shall wait for you
Yeah,
to
we'll-
get back to us
we'll
and
definitely
give
get
us a
some more info.
recommendation. Okay,
I
Officer
think-
Kelsey, anything relative to police department updates?
Yes. As we are aware, and it was brought up last meeting, there was a very unfortunate situation at Tiki Port on the early morning hours of March 23rd. It was a situation where there were 2 female patrons who were struck by a vehicle in the parking lot after hours, seriously injured, and had to be admitted to respective hospitals. I know Mr. Murphy looked for an update last meeting, and unfortunately, we were unable to provide that at that time. Today, we are. So the police department, the Barnstable Police Department, and the detective and patrol divisions have been interviewing patrons and participants and victims of this situation. To break it down, to just try to break it down for you very, very clearly, through our interviews, we have identified that Tiki Port was open after hours on that evening. Tiki Port was serving alcohol after hours on that evening. That there was a fight inside of Tiki Port after hours on that evening. That Tiki Port was using a rear entrance for people to enter the building in a dark parking lot that evening. We also identified that this behavior has been ongoing, and this wasn't the first occurrence that this has happened, that they have been doing it for at least several months prior to this, and basically running an after-hours nightclub. We do have statements and witness interviews that can be introduced at a hearing to corroborate this. And the police department at this time would be looking for this authority to have a show cause hearing on this issue in the June meeting.
Absolutely.
Which we will do. Any questions from the authority?
No.
Okay, we will wait to see on the agenda that show cause hearing, and that those are serious offenses, no doubt about it. We will take the appropriate action as required. Any other updates? We're good?
No, that's it right now.
All right. Our next 2 meetings, one will be June 25, 2025, and the second will be July 23rd, 2025. So at that June 2025 meeting, could we make sure that Cape Cod Beer that we have everything in place relative to plumbing and building? Because if not, then they're not going to be allowed to do what they would want to do during July. And I really don't want to see that happen if we can avoid it. Okay, any other comments from members of the authority? Okay, there aren't any other matters from the chair, so we will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Mr. Chairman, I move to adjourn the meeting to June 25th, 2025.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made with a second. I don't think there's any discussion on this issue, so we will call the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, that is a vote. Meeting is adjourned at 11:05.